getting to meet and talk with all 9 of Walt's 9 old men of animation, and becoming special friends with Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnston, who used the archives as an office after they retired. Riding on Ward Kimball's train in Alhambra, and on both of Ollie Johnston's trains in La Cañada Flintridge and in Julian. Being honored with the Disney Legend Award in 2007 and realizing that I had had the opportunity to know or work with almost all of the previous 200 legends. The eerie feeling the first time I was alone in Walt Disney's offices, realizing all the fantastic work that had occurred there. Going to Long Beach on a very foggy evening to attend a cast preview of Disney on Parade. Remember that? That was before the ice shows, and it was in arenas, sports arenas around the country, and it was just done on the floor of the sports arena. And people said, this isn't Disney on ice, this is Disney on wood. But the shows were fun. Being invited by Don Dorsey to watch a 3 a.m. dress rehearsal of Illuminations right here at Epcot in 1988. Taking friends and colleagues on my Walt tours to sites where he lived and worked, ending with dinner at his favorite restaurant, the Tam O'Shanter. Yeah. Being alone on Main Street in Disneyland Paris on the day before the grand opening and posing for a picture with Mickey Mouse when there was nobody else in the park. Finding a unique stash of 1930s cartoon posters in the attic of the studio's casting building. Speaking at an early morning cast update at the Disney MGM Studios, now Disney's Hollywood Studios, while installing the One Man's Dream exhibit, only to be shocked by news of the 9/11 happenings in New York. Working with Paul Pressler on the opening of Disney's California Adventure to bring back people who had been at the opening of Disneyland 46 years earlier. Getting in line for Star Tours at a special pre-opening Walt Disney Imagineering party and finding myself standing behind Michael Eisner and George Lucas. Having Michael Jackson visit the archives in costume when he was filming Captain EO for Disneyland. And I think one of the most exciting, as a teenager, speaking with Walt Disney at Disneyland around 1956. Wow. Some of my favorite memories.
We're not going off that easy on the last one. I think you need to tell that story.
Oh, okay. Some of you have heard my Walt story before, but I'll tell it to you. I was at Disneyland, and I think it was in 1956. I went with my brother and my cousin. We were teens. I would have been about 15 years old. And I saw Walt Disney walking through the park. Now, up until this time, Walt was, his name was well known. Everybody knew who Walt Disney was, but nobody knew what he looked like. It was only after he started appearing on the television show that started in 1954 that people started recognizing him. And it made it a little more difficult for him to get around without being stopped by people and asked for autographs and so forth. So anyway, I walked along behind him for a while to see if anybody was noticing him. And every once in a while you'd see a father poke his son and say, "That's Walt Disney over there." and as you heard from Stephen earlier, I am an autograph collector, mostly historical autographs, and I thought it'd be kind of fun. Even at age 15 I was collecting these things, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to have a Walt Disney autograph. So I checked in my pockets and I didn't have any writing implements. I had no pen or pencil or anything. And so Walt was going through the castle into Fantasyland at that time. And so I ran up ahead of him and went into the first shop that was available, which happened to be Merlin's Magic Shop. And the only thing they had available was a 2-foot-long pencil that wrote in multi-colors. But that was my only choice, so I bought that and went running back outside. Well, by this time, Walt had been stopped by another family, and they were taking his picture with their kids. So I took a picture, too, of him posing with somebody else's kids. And as a shy teenager, I still kick myself today for not asking if I could get my picture with him. But anyway, I asked him if I could get his autograph, and he politely declined. He said that once he started signing autographs, he got this huge crowd around him, and he never got his work done. So he told me to write him at the studio, and he would send me the autograph, and I did, and he did, and I still have it today.
So anyway, oops. There's a slant on that thing over here. Exactly, it's a new kind of flight of wine. Well, anyway, Dave, thank you so much for sharing those memories. And when you think about 40 years of archiving the history and legacy and heritage of the Walt Disney Company, it really is, if you stop to think about it, a truly monumental task, starting something from scratch. And I can only imagine, we didn't really talk about your little eavesdropping incident at UCLA where the Disney executives came in and were talking about, they wanted to do some kind of an archive or something like that, and Dave's, heard that and submitted his, proposal for the archives. And it took a little while for it to get accepted, but it did. And, in June of 1970, sort of, coming in and having the daunting task of, having to corral almost 50 years of Disney history by yourself. But it's also cool you got to sit in Walt's office suite to do it, to start at least, right? And the one thing that I just think is remarkable when you think about it is that Dave and the archive staff, the company over the years has grown at such a remarkable rate. And the archive staff has not grown at the same rate that the company's grown. So, in 1970, he's got 50 years of Disney history to collect, from animation and parks to live-action films and consumer products, collectibles, all that. And then right when he thinks maybe he's about to have time to catch his breath, then we open, Walt Disney World opened pretty quickly. Then, Tokyo Disneyland, Disney Channel launched. Then Michael Eisner came and the company exploded. And then all of a sudden there was ABC and ESPN and more parks and more movies and more animation. And it just is remarkable that Dave's been able to keep up with it all through his network of friends, some of whom are here in this room, that really do help make it possible to keep this archives the valuable tool and resource that it is for everyone in the Walt Disney Company, and all of the great content that you all enjoy, whether it's through D23 or through the books that you buy from Disney Editions, or whatever experiences you have sometimes at the parks or elsewhere. Even when you see a movie like Tron, the filmmakers for Tron came into the archives, and fortunately we had kept a lot of great assets, art, and things from that film. And they did their research in the archives to prepare Tron Legacy. So the archives is such an incredibly important part of the Walt Disney Company. And there's only one man that we can truly thank for making it all happen, and that's Dave Smith. So I'd like to raise a glass to Dave. Congratulations on 40 years of archiving the history of the Walt Disney Company, and we are greatly thankful to you. Cheers, Dave. Okay. So I'd also like to point out that Dave's a really generous guy, and he wanted to make sure that everyone in this room got an autograph. So it was his idea to do the autograph cards, and he signed each one of them obviously himself. They're all authentic, no auto pens or anything like that. So that's why we did that, but that's not to say he's not willing to sign autographs and take pictures and meet and greet and whatnot. So there's a room that we have over here on the side for afterwards if you'd like to come visit with Dave, and I would recommend that you at least go check the room out because there's a phenomenal view of Spaceship Earth from the picture window, so you might want to check that out. What else do I have? I think I have some housekeeping sort of things that I want to talk about, right? To make sure that everyone is at the Hacienda tomorrow morning at 8:30. The park will be open at the front, so if you have your credential, there will be guest relations host Kelly.
Our guides.
Oh, your guides.
The blue and white guides will be.
Oh, the blue and white guides. Kelly's team. By the way, Kelly, fantastic dinner, fantastic event. We wouldn't be able to do these events without our partners at Walt Disney World, and you know, Kelly and Melissa have been great partners, so you know, thank you. So anyway, there's that. And is there something else I'm supposed to say? Or is that my only, just the next door thing? Okay. So again, thank you very much for being here, and hopefully you'll take a few moments to visit with Dave in the next room, and take your time, relax, and enjoy finishing up your meals and your wine and whatnot. And we have more fun in store for you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much.